Welcome to the class. This particular video is for grade 12. Subject is accounting and the topic is standard costing. Now, first of all, we need to understand what is standard costing. As far as the definition goes, standard costing is an accounting system that records the cost of operations at a predetermined standards. Now, when we look at the business, it is very important for the business to calculate the price of their product at the beginning of the year. Why it is required? Because we need to calculate the cost. On the basis of that cost, we need to decide the price, and only then we can sell our product or service to the customer. But the problem is that as far as the actual cost is concerned, the actual cost we will come to know only at the end of the year, because only at the end of the year we will come to know the total cost of raw material, the total cost of other expenses. So this is a problem for the organization, that how to decide about the cost and how to decide about the price without actually knowing the actual cost. And because of this, we have a concept of standard costing. Now, what we do in standard costing, we try to estimate the cost relating to raw material, cost relating to labor cost, cost relating to other overheads, and also we try to find out the selling price also at which we will be able to sell our product. Before knowing the actual selling price or before knowing the actual cost. Now, because of this problem of estimating the things and later knowing the actual cost, there is something which is known as variance. Now, what is variance? A variance is a difference between the standard cost and the actual cost. Now, for example, as a standard cost, we decided to take the cost of raw material at $10 per kg. At the end of the year, we realized that the actual cost was $12 per kg. Now, this difference of $12 and $10 is the variance. This variance can happen in the quantity consumed also. This variance can happen for the labor cost also. This variance can happen for other overheads, indirect expenses. And this variance can also happen relating to the selling price and the selling quantity. Now, as far as this topic of standard costing is concerned, for grade 12, which is part of the costing, we need to study 4 types of variances. And these 4 types are sales variance, material variance, labor variance, and fixed overhead variance. Now in this video, our purpose is to understand the sales variances. Now, in order to understand the sales variances, first of all, before getting into the practical aspect of how to calculate the sales variances, we need to understand the few concepts relating to sales variance. First of all, what is the purpose of sales variance? The purpose is that we want to calculate the differences between the actual sales and budgeted sales, and definitely we want to calculate this difference in dollar terms. Now what is the meaning of dollar terms? The meaning of dollar terms is that we want to calculate the difference not in terms of the quantity but in terms of dollars. And why we want to know the difference? The reason for knowing the difference is that we want to study the reasons behind the difference. And yes, broadly, the reasons for the difference between the actual sales and budgeted sales can be divided into two categories. The first is, this reason could be because of the difference in the volume of sales. That is the quantity. For example, I budgeted to sell 10,000 units. I budgeted to sell 10,000 units, and but actually I end up selling only 8,000 units. So that's the difference. Instead of 10,000 units, I'm able to sell 8,000 units. This could be one of the reasons. And the second reason could be the difference in the sales price per unit. For example, at the beginning of the year, I pre-decided the selling price as $5 per unit. I thought of selling my units at $5. But in reality, because of a lot of market related conditions which were beyond the scope of my organization, I was able to sell the units only at $4. Now this could be the reason for the sales variance. So I hope we are able to understand the theoretical basis of sales variance. Now, very importantly, we need to understand and learn the formulas for sales variance. And please remember that in the examinations, we will not be provided with the formulas. So we have to learn all the formulas, and let us understand these formulas, and then I'll be sharing an example to make it clear how to use these formulas. Now the first formula is total sales variance. That's the main formula, total sales variance. Now the total sales variance is actual sales minus budgeted sales. Now This particular formula can be further divided into two parts. That is total sales variance is equal to sales volume variance plus sales price variance. It means that we can further divide the total sales variance into sales volume variance and sales price variance. Now, how to calculate sales volume variance? Sales volume variance is flexed sales minus budgeted sales. Now, there's a new term which is flexed sales. So I'll be sharing the example, then I will be further explaining the difference between the flex sales and the budgeted sales. Now, what is the formula for sales price variance? The formula for sales price variance is actual sales minus flexed sales. So I'm repeating that we have to remember these formulas. Now, we will look at the example, and in the examinations also, you will be asked to calculate the different variances on the basis of the data given. So first of all, let us try to understand the data provided to calculate our sales variances. Now, as per the budget, and we know the meaning of budget is prepared for the future. And at the beginning of the year, as per my budget, the sales volume was 10,000 units. But at the end of the year, I realized that I am able to sell only 9,700 units. So we can see the budget is 10,000 units and actual is 9,700 units. If you look at the selling price, as per the budget, the selling price was $27. But actually, when I calculated my actual selling price at the end of the year on the basis of the actual data, the selling price was $28. So this budgeted and actual is clear. And yes, in order to calculate the total sales, what we have to do? We have to simply multiply the sales volume with the selling price. So if you look at the budgeted sales, it is 10,000 units into $27. And if you want, you can use your calculators. You can multiply. So it is $270,000. For actual, it is 9,700 units multiplied by $28. So it is $271,600. So we are very clear about the budgeted and the actual. Now, very carefully try to understand the flexed budget. And in this entire topic of standard costing, we need to be very careful about the difference between the budget, actual, and flexed. Budget and actual is more or less easy to understand, but sometimes as a student, we face problems while understanding the concept of flexed. Now, what is flexed? Flexed is taking the quantity as per actual, but taking the selling price as per budget. I repeat, flex this, taking the quantity as per actual, but taking the selling price as per budgeted. You can see for the flexed, the sales volume is as per actual, that is 9700, but the selling price is as per the budget, that is $27. And when we multiply this, we are getting $2,61,900 as total sales. Now it becomes very easy to finally calculate the different types of sales variances on the basis of the formulas. Now let us try to calculate total sales variance, and the formula is actual sales minus budgeted sales. Now actual sales is $271,600 and the budgeted sales is $270000. And finally the answer is $1,600. Now you can see in the bracket I have mentioned favorable variance. Now again, this is very important concept. If you look at the sign of the final answer, the sign is positive because you are subtracting 270000 from 271600. So finally you are getting plus $1,600. And if the final answer is positive, then it is a favorable variance. Now we also need to understand the logic of the favorable variance. The logic is, if actual sales, that is revenue, if actual revenue is more than the budgeted revenue, budgeted sales, then for the organization it is a favorable condition, na? That is why we are calling it favorable variance. Now let us understand sales volume variance. If you remember, I told you that the main formula, that is total sales variance, can be divided into two parts, that is sales volume variance and sales price variance. So on the basis of the same given data, we need to calculate sales volume variance. Now the formula is flexed sales minus budgeted sales. Take the values from here. Flex sales 261,900 minus 270000. Use your calculators. And yes, the answer is minus $8100. Now technically you are not required to put the minus sign. Why? Because in the bracket you are writing adverse variance. And why it is adverse? Because the final answer is coming in minus. So very importantly, you have to mention whether it is adverse or favorable. Now look at the next variance, which is sales price variance. And as per the formula, it is actual sales minus flexed sales. Now actual sales is $271,600 and the flex sales is $261,900, and the final answer for the price variance is $9,700. Now, how to cross check the answer? It is simple. As we know from the formula that total sales variance is divided into two parts, that is sales volume variance and sales price variance. We can see and we can always check. We have calculated total sales variance as $1600 favorable, whereas sales volume variance is $8100 adverse. We can put A in the bracket for adverse, whereas sales price variance is $9700 favorable. And as I told you, adverse means minus sign. So finally, minus 8100 plus 9700 is equals to plus 1600. It means that our calculations are right. This is one of the ways to check our answers in the exams. So that is all about the sales variances. Happy learning.